Manchester United 2, Brighton 1, Mason Greenwood, Bruno Fernandes and Rashford stepping up to save Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's blushes. An awful first half. A very good second half in the end. Man United now secure inside the top 4 Champions League qualifying positions by 11 points. Second place looks like a shoe-in. But I want your views, your opinions. Smash that like button. Hit the share button. Let's go, people. Man United stay second in the league, 11 points clear of falling out of the top 4. So the result is the most important factor for Man United tonight. The performance, up and down. The first half is something I never want to think about, see, or even have the feeling it gives me inside. Again, it was disgusting, atrocious, poor beyond belief. 2 attempts mustered on goal. The goal we conceded, courtesy of former Man United striker Danny Welbeck, was sloppy. Paul Pogba playing. I know a lot of people are blaming the referee, saying he was in the way. Don't play the ball to where the referee's standing. Then you wouldn't play it there if an opponent was there. So why play it when the referee's there? Pogba was sloppy. That was the first part of the mistake. And then Aaron Wan-Bissaka went to sleep. You need to sometimes be negative or pessimistic as a defender and assume that Lindelof or Maguire, whoever it may be, in this case it was Lindelof, is going to miss the ball or not be able to reach it. He was asleep. Danny Welbeck comes in. I felt sorry for Hendo because his initial save was world class. Danny Welbeck puts in the rebound, and that killed United. The confidence fell out of us. There was no oomph. There was no click. There was no togetherness. And it was very, very poor up until about the 55th towards 60th minute. And then Man United started to look a little more dangerous. We were putting a little bit more pressure on. The goal came from a mistake, but the mistake came from a press from Cavani, literally the only thing the man did all night. And then Bruno into Rashford, the duo that have saved us on a number of occasions this year. Rashford getting his 19th goal of the season, which is sensational. Pogba with another goal contribution as well. And then from that point, Man United clicked into gear. From that point in the game, 62 minutes on the clock, United looked excellent. It's like we had the bit between our teeth. I find it infuriating because I'm thinking, where was this prior? But we pushed, we hurried. The substitution of Cavani coming off should have come 10, 15 minutes earlier at a minimum. Donny comes on, and within a minute, I'm not putting it down to Donny coming on, but it was a reshuffle that did it because Donny was then in a different position. Greenwood was central, and yes, Paul Pogba meant that assist. And we take the lead, we win the game, we secure all 3 points. But it was another Jekyll and Hyde performance from Manchester United. I'm really looking forward to what Johnny, KJ, Neeks, and Alfie have got to say. We're going to get them on in a few moments, but I do want to know what you're thinking and feeling. We're going to share the link on the Discord server soon for you to come and have your say. Super Chat here says, congrats on the new show incoming, Terry. I remember the old Dockland streams you did. I reckon United will get top 4, but how well do you think, how will you do in the Champions League depends on your new structure and players. I agree. We're not going to win the Champions League next year, in my opinion, but I'd rather be in it than out of it, I suppose. Well, not even I suppose. Yes, 100% I would want that. I think top 4 is now secure for United. The 11-point gap gives us a tremendous insurance policy, and I can't see us dropping more points than at least 2 other teams below us, enabling them to, 2 other teams outside of the top 4, enabling them to leapfrog in front of us. Or at least one of them, maybe. No, one. It only needs to be one because Chelsea and that are not 11 points behind. But I can't see it, if I'm being honest, as it stands right now. Tottenham fan here says, Man United will always chant at home, period. You mean cheat at home, period, facts. And Brighton deserved the penalty tonight. For me, I didn't think it was a penalty. There was an arm on the shoulder, but it wasn't enough of a pullback for the penalty to be given. I've seen Man United not awarded penalties for the exact same thing. People are going to disagree, but if you think it was a penalty, phone in, have your say, or super chat and let us know what you're thinking and feeling. Let's do some more of these comments here. Let's see what you're all saying here. Absolutely, a Strip Bear says, smash that like button, people. Get it done right about now. Maguire on the FA payroll. I thought Maguire was really good tonight, by the way. Made some brilliant challenges, good in the air. I thought he was excellent. I thought Fred was excellent tonight as well. I just want to put that out there in case I don't forget to say it later. Bruno, just where would Man United be without Bruno Fernandes? Pogba and Greenwood heavily involved in the winner, but Bruno the most influential again with the second assist, as you would call it, the key pass that created the opportunity. And what a sumptuous ball as well over the top. Welbeck would have got a touch if Maguire didn't foul him. Listen, Man United had a legal goal disallowed against Sheffield United and an illegal goal given. I don't care. Until you guys come on here and say Man United were unlucky when we are, I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear it. The bull here says Hendo's first save was world class. He didn't even move his leg. Listen, bro, it's because he was in positioning, brother. Positioning. He knew where. He was like, I'm going to be right here. I'm going to save it. And he did. It's positioning. It's position. It's not luck when you're a top goalkeeper. I thought it was excellent. I'm not going to be deterred from that at all. We're going to bring in the panel on now to have their say. Hit those like and those share buttons. Let's do this, people. Good evening, gentlemen. Johnny, KJ, Canadian Cam, and of course, man like Alfie. To you first, KJ. Poor performance in the first half. 3 points secured. Give me your views.
Oh, we like to make it hard for ourselves. We really do. The first half was atrocious, and I'm pretty sure the guys will dissect that, so I won't go into it too much. That first half is what's wrong with the football club in terms of you have an opportunity to go and lengthen the gap, widen the gap between you and your rivals, and you're lapsadaisical, you're lethargic, you're there just relaxing. You had a 10-minute spell at the start where we was good, and then we just drop off. That stems from, I believe, the ownership. I don't think the ownership was saying you have to win this game to Ollie. I don't necessarily think Ollie was saying we have to win this game to the boys, and those things happen. But we get the 2 points over the line. I want to see Mason in the number 9 more, please. Give him more time there. Let him develop. I know it's going to take time for him to become the full package, but games like today, more games in the future where there's a change needed. Instead of taking off for Dan James or taking off for Van der Beek, do what you do more today, Ollie. Put him in the number 9. He's hungry for goals. You can see it every time he plays. Cavani, he did nothing today, and honestly, I hope we don't re-sign him. I hope we don't.
The reports actually that came out earlier today is that we're making a decision at the end, or he'll be making a decision at the end of April to see what happens. Neeks, 3 points though. Top 4 looking ever more comfortable. I know that's what matters most at the end of the season. It's the business end. It's about picking up the points. What were your views of the performance of the game and the points?
Yeah, I felt we would win, so I'm not surprised that we got the win. We made it hard, as we do. KJ was saying earlier on Twitter that the results of this weekend were just too good to be true, that Man United would try and do something to mess it up in it. But we got the win. I think over the 90 minutes we deserved. First 45 we were poor. Brighton weren't like all over us, but we didn't do anything. We had no ideas whatsoever. Second half we were much better. There was more energy, more movement. I think what we liked in the first half was movement. When someone had the ball, there wasn't enough options and not enough movement pulling Brighton players around. In the second half, there was definitely that. When it comes to the whole Greenwood thing, I think I was saying in my preview with Danny, Martial, from Solskjaer's words, is possibly out for the rest of the season. We don't know. I wouldn't even have started both him and Cavani today, Greenwood and Cavani, because we've only got now 2 strikers for the foreseeable future. So for me, the striker position should be rotated between Cavani and Greenwood for the rest of the season. I would have liked to have seen Ahmad or Dan James start to give it more creativity. But we saw in the second half, once we stepped up the quality, Bruno came alive. Rashford obviously got the goal. He didn't have a great game, but got the crucial goal. Maguire, Luke Shaw, for me, he wasn't the man of the match. But I'm trying to remember the last time he had a bad game. He just goes about quietly, does his business, And then if he pops out a goal or assist, it takes his performances, which we see regularly, from a 7 to an 8 or a 9. He has been absolutely brilliant. But for me, the result was the most important thing, especially considering all the other results this season. Top 4 is pretty much confirmed.
Yeah, I hear you. Johnny, again, we know it wasn't pretty. We got the 3 points. What are you saying, mate?
First of all, congratulations on the evolution of your show, mate. Big well done. Just wanted to personally say congratulations to you. And also thank you for giving me the opportunity to come in here and voice my opinion. I appreciate that. So just want to say that to you first, Terry, personally.
Not a problem at all.
In terms of the performance, obviously the first half were atrocious. We could have been 3-0 down in the first half. Second half got better. I was delighted that Greenwood and Rashford got the goals. I thought Pogba largely was anonymous today, and I love Pogba, but I ain't going to defend him blindly. It weren't good enough today for the whole 90. Had a couple of good things, but you expect more from Pogba, and I think we'd all agree on that. And I just think it got a bit better in the second half. It was just, I'm sick of these performances. We got the 3 points. It's papering over the cracks. It is what it is. All he's going to get is new contract. He'll be here next year. And yeah, we just have to roll on until Christmas when he gets sacked. Simple as that.
Were you disappointed with any of the sort of decisions in terms of the starting lineup today?
Yeah, I was. I felt, being honest, based on his last few performances, I didn't think Fred deserved to start. But, he played very well today, and I have to give credit where credit's due. But if you're picking players on merit, he shouldn't have been picked.
You have to remember, Johnny, because he didn't go international break, whereas pretty much everyone did. He was probably more fresher than a lot of other players.
Well, I just think it's the same problems: ball retention, slow tempo to the game. It's the same shit over and over. And all with his late substitutions again, 80 minutes. Dan James was forced. But look, I'm never going to be convinced of all it ever. Never. It's never going to happen. But end of the day, he is going to get his new contract. Looks like he's definitely secured top 4. So we're just prolonging the inevitable, and I will never change my stance on that ever.
I understand your views. I do. I get where you're coming from. Cam, I see you shaking your head there quite a bit. What's on your mind, bro?
This papering over the cracks thing's ridiculous.
It's still, how's it not? Right. That's the question.
Right?
This is Manchester United at home to Brighton, and you think that's a performance worthy of Man United to Brighton?
Did I let you speak, or did I not let you speak?
I'm just saying, like, come on, man.
Let me speak. I don't need to hear you speak. I listen. You can sit back and listen. Thank you. This papering over the cracks thing is basically getting to a point where people are so desperate to be right. I'm sorry. The truth of the matter is, we are second in most progressive passes. We are second in chances created, big chances created. We are literally second in all the categories that say what our style is basically trying to be direct as much as we possibly can with the personnel we have. Our problem right now is basically our personnel. Let's be completely honest, because the table doesn't lie. We're second. We're the second best team in the league. Cool. Yes, we're nowhere near City. Deal with it, dude. It's just a fact right now. We're nowhere near City. So sitting there being like,
we're never going to go ever. Never. Do you not understand that? Under the constraints that we're working with the Glazers and Woodward, we're already working under strict parameters, right?
Exactly.
Agree with that. So if you're working on them parameters, you need somebody who knows what the fuck they're doing to rise above that shit.
Dude, okay, I'm sorry. You're saying knows what the fuck they're doing. He's got a second in the league. He's about to potentially win the Europa League, which will be...
Is he winning that? He's not winning that. Give all the man.
It doesn't matter. So at the end of the day, you just don't like him. It's cool. You say it. But right now, you're getting ethered every time we win. You're sitting there like all these other fools out there.
No. When we were going to say Simon, I came in here, did I not? And I gave Ollie full credit and I praised him. I didn't say one negative thing. So that's not true.
That's one game. We won today. Be happy. I don't come on the show here hoping to be so upset that we won a game. Listen.
How can I be watching that?
Dude, what do you want us to do? We have a Rashford who had to come off early because he's dealing with injury.
Well, listen, I respect your opinion. I have my opinion. I'm going to do my side of the fence and you're on yours. It is what it is.
Gentlemen, we're going to come back round to this. If anybody's got a WhatsApp open on the same computer they're streaming on, could you close it for me or mute it? Because we keep hearing your messages come through from your boys and whatnot. Stacey here says, congratulations on the new partnership, and I wish you and the guys and girls the very best. You all deserve the amazing recognition. So thank you very much, Stacey, for that. That said, on the game, we sucked in the first half. We started playing in the last 25 to 30 minutes. Yeah, I completely agree with you on what you'd said there, Stacey, about the game. And yes, my panel and the terrace members and that, they do deserve praise. Absolutely, they do. Alfie's with us here, mate. Give me your views on that game, mate.
Yeah, a lot to say. I'll come to you, Johnny, in a bit. Let me just say my piece first. First and foremost, credit to Brighton, man. Let's talk about the things that they done well. They came, they stopped us, they suffocated us in the way that we wanted to play forward. It's pretty much figured out, how to stop United is to sit back. But Brighton are ballers. We know Brighton are ballers from this season. I don't think they really deserve to be in the position that they are, right? But they came out. One thing I do want to say, and I hope you're watching somewhere somehow, is Danny Welbeck. We love you, mate. Yeah, the United faithful, we love you. You're a prodigy. I'm so glad you scored at the Stretford end. Yeah, I weren't even upset when you scored. I weren't even upset, Welbs, when you scored. Honestly, I was just like, you know what? Good for you, man.
He can get his goal after 4-0 or 5-0.
No. I'm all right. No, KJ, listen. I don't want to make it personal, bro. But I got a few years on you. I seen little man come through the. I remember. Yeah? I remember. And so I got. Yeah. No, I know you remember him, but you might remember him when you was 9.
No, but you don't know. Alfie, did you not hear what you just said? I was happy that he scored, and that goal was the one that. We lost the lead because of that. We lost the lead because of that. How are you happy with that?
That's fine. No, that's fine, KJ. Listen, I'm telling you personally. I'm not asking you to agree with being happy. I'm saying I was happy seeing Welbeck score. Yeah, that's what I'm saying, because he's a prodigy. Now, I want to go honestly. Fine. Do what you need to do. Anyway, this credit to Ollie business. The first thing that I want to start pointing out is I've been hearing a lot of absolute trash, just gas, just like, I don't know what you people call it, calling us false second. People have been saying Man United are false second. You're in a false position.
Completely agree,
bruv. Yeah, listen, bruv. Yeah, mate. Honestly, let me say my bit. You can rebuttal me later. Yeah, but honestly, I don't know what you need to do to go get some logic from somewhere, bro. Yeah, or go do some maths lessons or something. God knows what you need to do, but go somewhere else and do that. Don't come here and start talking absolute garbage about Man United being in a false second. I'm not going to reiterate what Cam said. Cam said it quite eloquently. We are second best. We're not going to be on the same level as Pep's City. No problem. We are a progressive team, and all I've seen is progression. Until Ollie shows me regression, yeah, and I'm saying this to you personally, Danny, and I'm saying this again to everyone, Ollie out. Until I see regression...
Johnny.
Oh, sorry. Until I see regression, I'm continue the way we are. No problem. Continue the way we are, because this manager is evolving the same as the team. If he's learning on the job and we're second this season, by God, let him learn. Let him continue doing what he's doing.
Alfie, last season, after 30 games, we won 46 points. How much are we on now? 60? 60. So we're 14 points better. So regardless of what Liverpool's doing, regardless of what Chelsea, Leicester, Spurs, etc., we are 14 points better this season after 30 games than we were last season.
Exactly, but and this is why I said to the Ollie outers and to the people who are trying to say that we're false second, you need to go do some maths, you need to go do some data analysis, understand how this shit works.
We're only second, right? Because Liverpool fell off the cliff for injuries and Chelsea fell off the cliff under Lampard.
Honestly, Johnny.
I can't wait. Apologies for waiting in my DM.
Johnny. Okay, no, John, 1 second.
Guys, one at a time.
Let's say we are only second in terms of the position because Liverpool fell off. Cool. I accept that. Liverpool were not going to fall off. We didn't expect them to fall off in the way they did. But the fact that we are 14 points better, despite only playing Liverpool once, so we played Liverpool once this season. It's not like it's our results against Liverpool that's got us these 14 points more. We are 14 points better than at this stage last season. Is that not clear progression of Manchester United? Forget everything else of Manchester United.
Mathematically, yes. Yeah, it's mathematically.
Yes. So how do you judge? And mathematically, Man City are top of the league, therefore the best. Like, is the league not the barometer?
But there's a big but.
Go on.
He's been here for 2 years. He's spent nearly £300 million, and we have not got one trophy. Not one.
Well, he's had two.
We got that one.
This is his second full season. So unless you're going to judge him because we got knocked out to Barcelona in the Champions League in an interim position, forget that. But this is his second full season. Yes, he needs to win a trophy. He may win a trophy. We don't know, but you've already written it off. You've already said whatever he does, you're OLE out. So for you, it doesn't matter whether he wins a trophy or not. So the fact is, we are in a better position now than we were last year, and the position that he picked us up in, where the dressing room was finished, we were sitting in sixth off the Champions League positions back in December 2018. We're in a better position now than we were last year. The season's not over, yet you are OLE out regardless. I don't understand.
I'm OLE out though.
Johnny, real quick question, Johnny. Okay. Yeah, real quick question. Do you want us to lose the Europa League? Yes. Is that yes?
No, because it's irrelevant. Win or lose. I want him out regardless. I don't care what the result is. I want him out.
I'm asking you. No. I'm not asking you if, buts, and maybes. I want absolutes from you today, bro. Do you want us to lose the Europa League? Do you want us to go out?
Yeah, I do for great good. I'm not going to say it. I'm not going to say it.
There's never any convincing.
I wanted. I'll tell you what I wanted, right? I'm controversial.
Guys, let Johnny speak. Let me answer his. Go on, Johnny.
I wanted, right? And it's something you can, if you've got, if you're that fucking, you've got enough time, go through my Twitter profile. I said it. I wanted us to lose every game from now to the end of the season just to get that man out. That's how badly I want him out. Because this is what's going to happen. He's going to get a new contract. Right, he's going to get his new contract. We're going to get to summer. He's probably going to get one marquee signing and a squad signing. So we'll get two signings because Glazers are tight bastards, right? We're going to get into next season. Liverpool will come back full strength. Chelsea will have had the time with a Tuchel, right? And we will get exposed. And guess what will happen? It'll get to around Christmas time. We'll be struggling and he'll get sacked. It's prolonging the inevitable.
Johnny, let me tell you something. If we lose every game between now and the end of the season, you'll get your wish. You will be sacked. However, if we get top four and don't win the Europa League, he won't be sacked.
I know.
Considering that we're 11 points clear of fifth, you should want us to win the Europa League because whether we win it or not, as long as we're in the top four, he's still going to get a new contract. So you might as well
Johnny, I just want to say one thing. I get the feeling. I understand the feeling because I was almost there with Jose when he was here. So I get the feeling. But when you say he's been here for 2 years and we don't have a trophy, but then when we're in a competition to win a trophy, you say we don't want to win it, that makes no sense because then it just goes against your own argument. That makes no sense.
Right?
Like,
his form in the cup competitions, right, it's been embarrassing. Yeah? The football that we play, let's be honest, right? Whether you're OLE in or OLE out, how many performances this season have been fucking lackluster? Let's have it right. When was, other than Leeds, and fucking, excuse my language, and I'm trying to swear, other than Leeds and Southampton, when was the last time we put a team to the sword? Properly dominated a team? So, name me one. Apart from Southampton and Leeds.
Johnny, so listen, I understand that logic. For me, if we're not happy with the way we're playing, then winning a trophy shouldn't matter either here nor there. I think the problem is when people, in terms of listening to your opinion, of course, we want you to express it on here because the terrace is no echo chamber. But it's this case of if your biggest gripe so far on this show is he's been here 3 years and hasn't won a trophy, but you want him to fail in winning a trophy. That logic just doesn't make sense. If it's, I don't care if he wins a trophy or not, the football isn't good enough. I don't think anybody on the panel is going to disagree with your point of view. I do hear what you're saying. Cam, listen, bro, I appreciate you coming on and having your say. We've got to recycle some of this, some of the panel there. Top man. Thank you very much indeed. We've got Adam Matic coming on next. Pav here for Super Chat says, checkmate from Neek's end of discussion. Johnny getting a lot of support as well. A lot of people saying Johnny speaking facts in the comments section as well. I've seen them. Some say you're a plastic. Literally, that's the great thing about the football terrace, the mixture.
Can I respond to that on commentary, that plastic thing? Can I just respond to that? Because it's obviously it's going to keep up coming in your comment section. So all you people that are saying in the comment section that I'm plastic, right? I support the club before any manager, right? The club come first, right? And I want the best for the club before any manager. Let's get that clear. And I truly believe in my heart, on the body of evidence that I've seen from Ole, he's not good enough and he's at his ceiling. So based on that logic, right, I want him out.
Okay, if he wins the Europa League, does he not break the ceiling that you think he's reached?
And also,
you don't think he'll win us a trophy? So
he
breaks that ceiling.
Why are we in Europa League? Can you tell me why we're in there? Why are we in there?
Because we got knocked out of the Champions League.
Yeah, because of his ineptitude to get us knocked out.
No. Can I answer this? All right. Look. Honestly, I'll answer this, Johnny. I've like, don't take this in the bad way. I've figured you out. I know what kind of fan you are. It's not a problem what kind of fan you are. You are the fan, Man United fan, that wants to see us the way we were continuously. Every game we go into, we are the ones that the opposition is the underdogs. We're supposed to win. That's the kind of fan you are. I respect it because I was there too. I get it. I understand. But what you need to understand, my guys, you're not gonna get that. It doesn't matter what manager you bring in, you're not gonna get that. Any manager you bring in, you're gonna get one of two scenarios. Number one, you're gonna get quick succession within the first season, a couple of trophies. 2 seasons later, that manager is gone. We, the people who are long-term fans, we don't want that. We want to build something. Takes a couple of years to get maybe that first trophy, but best believe by the time you build something that strong, a long-term plan, which is what it looks like to the majority of us. It doesn't look like that. It doesn't look that way to you, but to us, that's what it looks like. The long-term plan. And again, I know. I'm not saying you're one and only. I know there's loads of people, but until we see regression, because you're saying he's hit his ceiling. For us to agree with you that Ole has hit his ceiling, we have to see him stagnate or regress. We haven't seen any of those. So what are you talking about?
First part of your point, I respect it. That's probably is, but thinking about that probably is my mindset. I want us to win. I am under no illusion. Even under Alex Ferguson, we didn't win everything. I understand that. I'm not deluded. Yeah. But the cup competitions, right? The cup competitions, he has failed miserably. He has. That's a fact.
Agreed.
Right?
Agreed. Right. Okay, agreed. Yeah.
So, and we're in the Europa League because of his ineptitude that cost us the Champions League group stage, right? He lost that group stage from a strong position. He was top at league and he needed 1 point. And
but Johnny, we were in the group of death. Give credit where credit is due.
No. You could have said that if we'd have struggled our way through. But he got to the top of the mountain.
No. He just proved how good he is, even in the group of death. Yeah, of course he did. By beating the likes of RB 5-0, by beating PSG away again, he proved how good he is. But bro, we're not gonna. Hold on, really quickly. If you play PSG 10 times, no one is gonna beat them 10 times. It's gonna be 50-50. Ollie's got a great record against PSG. Yeah, he beat them once and he lost against them. He's got a good record against RB.
You're a staunch Ollie, and I respect that's your choice, right? Yeah. If he don't win Europa League, which I don't believe he will, and he gets top 4, which I think he's going to, right? Next season, if he doesn't get a trophy again, which he won't, well, I'm sorry, I'm not the oracle. I can't.
No, fine. No, agreed. You're gone.
Yeah. And he gets the top 4 again. Are you still going to be Ollie in?
No, of course not. Because I said I need to see progression. I have seen progression. If next season, if we finish second this season, hold on. Yeah. If next season. Today, I mean, let's say this season we finish second. Next season, what is progression, Johnny? It's first. I like. It's either second. It's either second. It's either second and a trophy.
Yeah. Okay, we've gone over this. Great points made. Viewers, we want your views. We want your opinions. It literally looks 50-50. It looks 50-50 in the comment sections in relation to that. I know a lot of you are Ollie out. I know some of you are Ollie in, and there's a lot of rivals as well that don't give a shit. They just like the banter. Adam's with us now. Adam's literally walked into like a big family dispute. And he's like, I'm just going to sit here and wait my turn. Mate, first of all, I want to ask you your view on the game tonight.
It was a typical first game back from international duty, wasn't it? That's what it was. Get through the game, get it won by any way, and get out of there. It's pretty much the same for everyone. We've seen the amount of teams up there already that have lost games, drop points straight away. It's the hardest game of the season whenever the international break is come back. So I wasn't expecting much. I just took it for what it was, which was the first game back. I thought first half we were clueless pretty much going forward. We were rock solid until we got to the final third, and then we came out in the second half and it was better. I'll say it was better. It wasn't fantastic, but it was better. We seemed to move the ball a little bit quicker. We seemed to close down and press a bit higher. We played higher and won the ball back in their half, which brought us the first goal, the goal that brought us back level. And in the end, we can't really complain. I expected a little bit more from Brighton, to be honest. I thought they were quite poor tonight. But again, first game back from internationals, everyone's completely off. It's just who can take advantage and get the win. I mean, Chelsea, Leicester were poor. I mean, we've seen Arsenal again, Spurs today. Everyone's dropping points left, right and centre. It's just a case of getting it in the bag, getting the game won and moving on. And that's all the game was for me today. We dominated possession. We were rock solid at the back, which I'm really happy about. I caused a load of friction on Twitter, on social media earlier on by putting a video out regarding Ole's decision to keep De Gea out of the team. If you want us to back the manager, and I'm backing the manager making decisions like that, they're the decisions that count for me. I think this defence looks 20 times better with Henderson in goal. Ole looks like he's making a few more cutthroat decisions, which I'm all for. I'm not Ole's biggest fan. I'm really not. But there's like two sides to it, isn't there? There's the season on paper, which looks great, and then there's the season in the first half today when we look like we don't have a clue. And no one looks like they've got any sort of idea what they're doing. But you've got to give credit for the game itself. What did Henderson have to do? We dominated the game against a decent Brighton team. He had one save to make, which he did well. And Danny Welbeck got lucky with a rebound. It went straight to his head. There's nothing Henderson can do with that. He fumbled the ball from one cross. But other than that, I can't honestly remember Brighton causing any issue at all to us in the whole game. So in terms of the game, pretty dominant. I don't know what the stats were for possession. I mean, it must have been right up there for United, mate.
Yeah, it was in United's favour.
60%.
Yeah, you can't really. Can you ask for much more coming back from that? Looking at how everyone else played,
I slightly disagree with the Welbeck thing. I think he's a proper out-and-out striker, so therefore,
mate, I totally disagree with everything you said on Danny Welbeck. I think he's crap.
Guys,
mate, I'll be honest, but that's just my opinion on him, mate. But
have you got to shoot?
Yeah, I've got to go. Listen, thanks very much for having me on, guys. I appreciate you letting me air my thoughts. I'll see you Wednesday, Terry. And love you all. Appreciate you all. Have a good night. Take care, guys. See you later.
See you later, mate. See you later, mate.
Can I just say on the Dean Henderson David De Gea thing, because
we've gone into it perfectly. I wanted to speak about that. We are going to open up the lines for you to come on and talk about the Brighton game, but right now I do want to speak about the David De Gea situation, and I want to sort of frame it in this way because I had a morning off social media because the Easter Bunny was at my house. And she fell in the swimming pool, which was a madness because it was a crazy morning, right? The kids are getting mad and all sorts. And I went on social media about midday, right? The lamb got put in. I sat down. What's going on socials? And I'm seeing like some people saying, I'm so proud to see Ole make a cutthroat decision and finally drop David De Gea. He's going to be moved on. We need to move beyond him. I thought, okay, cool. I'm seeing other people say, the way Ole is treating David De Gea is an outright disgrace. It is criminal. I've seen people say that he was right. And then the other half, these people in the middle that are like, it was right to drop him, but Ole bottled him by dropping him when he went for his child to be born and didn't do it at like an opportune moment, at like a public moment. And I'm sitting there reading this going, this is almost what's wrong with the Man United fan base. Like the polarization shoots. I want to speak to you all about it. Neeks, I'm going to you first. Is it the right decision by Ole to drop David De Gea at this point?
The first one I was going to say is Solskjaer can't win because as Adam was saying earlier, like he's happy that Solskjaer made that decision, and you got the other half of the fan base who are like, and that's because I guess he maybe prefers Henderson or thinks he's better or thinks he's the future, whatever the reason might be. Then you got the other half who are like, Solskjaer only made a decision because of the media. So literally, whatever he does. Because if he kept David De Gea in, you're going to get those saying, well, Solskjaer's weak. He's not making a strong decision. Whatever he does, half of the fan base is going to have an issue with him. He literally cannot win. So he has to make a decision based on what he believes. He has to dismiss everything else. Is it the right decision? I don't think there's a right decision. I think he's made his decision. And the proof will be in the pudding by the end of the season and in the future seasons. For me personally, I do think at this point, David De Gea is a better keeper. However, David De Gea is only going to go one way. He's either going to stay exactly where he is or he's going to go down. Dean Henderson is younger. I don't think he's that much worse than David De Gea. He's not. I would say worse. He's not that much below David De Gea. He excels in certain areas where David De Gea doesn't, and vice versa. They both have errors in them, as we saw today, and he wasn't punished for dropping the ball as he did, but he collects other balls, so you say well done. That Dean Henderson is the future, and that's what we need to be looking towards. David De Gea, we know he wanted to leave Man United years ago. His partner lives in Spain. They've just had a baby. He's probably said to Solskjaer during the pregnancy, at the end of the season, I want to go back because I spend time away from my family already. Now my firstborn is also living away. I don't know. So there's maybe that as well. Yeah. Solskjaer he came across a perfect storm where Dean Henderson played well when he's been called upon, and David De Gea went away for personal reasons. He has no reason to drop Dean Henderson because he's playing well. As long as David De Gea plays again this season, whether it be in cup games, whether it be in some of the Premier League games later on, I'm cool with whatever Solskjaer decision makes. David De Gea has to play before he leaves Man United. He's a legend. He's a legend.
That he is, but I feel like Ali did the right thing. David De Gea was not able to be in the squad due to his personal commitments, which is perfectly fine as a footballer. The people. And Dean Henderson, we always say, if you get your opportunity, you got to make it sure that you can't get dropped again and make the other person work for the place back. Dean Henderson hasn't really done anything to require getting dropped. And if we're going to be fair in this whole tutorial world where it's like give players opportunities, if they take them, keep them, then you keep them in there. There's so many people saying, oh, David De Gea is crap, he's terrible, look, he's declined, we're just doing this because of Sentiment FC. But then in the same breath, when it's not Sentiment FC and we're giving Dean Henderson his chance because he deserves it, it's, oh, look what they've done to De Gea, it's disgraceful.
British bias.
It's stupid. It's stupid. Dean Henderson deserves a chance. He will be our number one goalkeeper for years to come. We gave him a big long-term contract for a reason. Let him see out the season as a number one, and then we move forward next season.
I looked at it this way for me. When kind of the last couple of days we've realised that United want to move on from De Gea, he's on a hell of a lot of money. They want to take that off the wage bill. The hope is they reinvest that elsewhere. You can't trust the Glazers with that, but we will see. I thought it was a smart time to integrate Dean Henderson as the number one because it was, people have said it's cowardice, but for me, it's being smart. If it would have just been randomly, boom, De Gea played a game, and then the next week he's out of the team. And then Ollie's interviewed and he says, yeah, he's a new number one now. The media goes straight into, oh, you're filling the gloves of a United, one of the greatest goalkeepers in Man United's history. He's this, he's that. Can Henderson cope? They would build the pressure up to see whether he could handle it or not. And I think he was a bit shaky at little moments today because in the last 24 to 48 hours, that pressure has been built up. There's been a thing. But what Ollie did that was smart is he brought him in at the right time. There was a genuine opportunity, whether it was injury or in this case, personal circumstances. Let's give Dean 2 or 3 games in this period, see how he responds, see how he plays, get the feedback from the captain and vice captains, etc., on how things went, and then make an informed decision. To see it get twisted into Ollie's a coward, he has no backbone, he's spineless. For me, it's just Ole derangement syndrome, and I'm going to look to be negative about every single thing that Ollie does. And I thought it was an atrocious way today for Man United fans to behave and to treat Ollie. You don't have to like him. You don't have to think he's a good enough manager. I personally think he's ceiling at Manchester United. But to call him spineless for doing something which I would say 80% of the social media United fans have been calling for 2 or 3 seasons just tells me that agendas do what agendas do, and people want to really push and pull on that massively. But viewers, we want your views and opinions on that. I'm going to share the link now on the Discord server for you to come in and have your say. Where is my Discord server? There it is. Let me just type in call in now. Make sure you're smashing that like and that share button as well, people. Very important to the terrace that you do that. Now, this is multitasking. I'm trying to present, talk, type.
David De Gea, I'll pick up for you. David De Gea is a Man United legend. He's won every trophy other than the Champions League. He's been unfortunate that he's played in the worst era of Manchester United football in the Premier League, because he has been, for at least 2, possibly 3 years, the best goalkeeper in the world. And it's unfortunate that he hasn't got more Premier Leagues to show for it.
This is true. You know what I wanted to add to that, in all honesty, is I think it was perfect. I think you can't deny the numbers. When Hendo came in, the first 7 games, we had like 6 clean sheets. And prior to Hendo coming in, every single person, Ollie in and Ollie out, we were saying we have a problem at the back. We started lambasting Maguire and Lindelof, saying that they were poor and this and that and blah, 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 blah. But once, you know what, even your best defenders, when they get past, you need to rely on a top quality, absolute last line, which is the keeper. And for Henderson to come and produce those numbers at an opportune moment, when your opportunity comes and you take it, I'm sorry, you have to now perform better than Hendo to come back in. And is David going to do that?
I've seen a lot of Henderson is trash. Hendo is not good. He's overrated. I don't, where's this come from? Because when he was out at Sheffield United, we was all raving about him, saying bring him back, let him challenge De Gea.
And do you know what?
I don't know where it's come from.
Do you know what is the most ludicrous thing?
It's all the agenda drum. That's what it is.
Imagine last year. Imagine last year, Sheffield United were top half of the table because of Dean Henderson. No joke. Because of
he was a massive part. But I think what Adam just said there is bang on. It's because it's this world of right. I don't like Ollie, so every decision that Ollie makes, I'm going to criticize it. That's what it comes down to. Which is one of the reasons why, from my side of things, I want to see a new manager, because I want to see a bit like at Chelsea. Mason Mount is Lampard's son. Yeah, Tuchel keeps picking Mason Mount because Mason Mount's quality. It's almost like I'd love to see the reaction if Poch came in as our coach and started picking McTominay and Fred. I would just love to see how people would spin it or criticize it or the nuance they would add to it. And I genuinely mean it. It's not a salty thing. I find it so entertaining. You know, it's a bit like I can't wait for the shows we're going to do if Poch bottles the league title in France, because a lot of Man United fans said if he took over this squad this season with everything as it stands, he would have won the league with us. And imagine not winning a one-horse race. It's like me it's like me being the only person to enter a beauty competition and coming second. It's the most embarrassing thing in the world. Like getting beaten by
mate. These United fans are the same ones as saying back Ollie. They're the same ones who were saying, look, he's not giving the youth a chance. Look at what happened to Angel Gomez. He thrust him out. And now all of a sudden we're letting one of our youth players come through and get an actual chance. You're treating David De Gea bad. I mean, I don't care. You're playing for Manchester United. If there isn't competition for every single position on that pitch, then something's not going right. This actually is one part of the club and one part of what's going on at United that I think is going right. I think this is what it should be like. Henderson's coming. Let's not forget when everyone's forgetting when De Gea came in and played his first few games for United. He wasn't brilliant. And everyone's saying, Henderson's nowhere near as good as De Gea. Let's just look at the careers and where they're at and what stage of the career they're at as well, people. Yeah. And that just proves that it's agenda driven completely.
And the thing is, when he came in, when Dean Henderson got brought back in the summer, people were like, it's a terrible decision. I'm like, no, we need to see if Henderson is even good enough to play for Man United. Not just in terms of ability, because you can see the ability you're at Sheffield, but playing for Man United and a big club is a different kind of pressure. You know, he made a mistake, I remember, against Liverpool with Sheffield United, where Wijnaldum's shot went past him.
And he spilled it.
We don't see that highlight on Twitter. But if he did that for Man United against Liverpool, you will see that run back over and over and over again. It's a different pressure playing for Man United. All the eyes are on you. So I think this season, as David De Gea's second, was a massive...
It absolutely is. And what you don't want to have happen is a KDB Pogba moment. You let him go. You get another 2 years out of David De Gea, and then he legitimately said, you know, he's too old. He's past his best. And then we're watching Dean Henderson play for a Chelsea who were interested in him as an example. And he's one of the best goalies in the league. And you think, one, we're now going to have to spend 70, 80 million buying one. And he was our product. And I think Ollie's...
I know one last point as well. It's like, people saying, oh, wait till next season to start him. Well, if De Gea leaves, that's add more pressure onto him. People be like, oh, well, you're now filling the boots of David De Gea. and every mistake gets vilified even more. So right now is the perfect time. We're giving him league games, we're giving him cup runs, and now next season, he's more integrated, he's more ready to be Man United's number one. I don't see the issue.
Well, if it was a manager that the said individual saying it likes, they would find a way to. We know this exists within human beings. We've seen all the experiments on social media where they read a quote out from a manager they dislike, a manager that they read a quote out from a legendary manager, but say the quote was from someone they dislike, and they go, see, he's chatting rubbish. Oh, by the way, that was said by Beckenbauer. That was said by Fergie. And then they look stupid because they don't listen to what's being said or being done. They want to find a negative. But we want your views. We are talking David De Gea. We are talking the Man United Brighton game today. Is top four secure for Manchester United? Is it, has Ollie made the right decision in relation to David De Gea? First caller on the show is going to be Fixer. Fixer, welcome back to the terrace. What do you want to say?
Hi, guys. I got a few things to say, so I don't know, just give me some time to to unload. So first thing, I don't know if you remember the last time we spoke, Terry, and we're saying talking about how we don't have a lot of dribblers in the team and stuff. Yeah. And I just realized today we don't have a lot of passers in our team. Like, we have about 4 people who can pass the ball, and the rest of them cannot. I mean, I don't mean to be negative. We won the game or not, but I just noticed that like a lot of our passes were going astray, like a lot from everyone, not just a few people, not just Fred. I don't want to start dropping names, but a lot of them. But that's by the way. Second thing I wanted to say was Pogba. I mean, good assist, well done to the guy, but I don't think he does enough for the club for all the hype and all the stress that he brings with him. I don't think it's worth it. I just don't think it's worth it. I'm not saying he's a bad player, but I'm just saying like what he contributes to the club all around, not just a few games, not just 2, 3, 4 games, but in general.
So who is Pogba?
Yeah. It doesn't align with all the stress we have to deal with from his agents, all the contractors, all the stress, all the hassle. I just don't think there's no correlation.
It's a strange comment on today because when's the last time we heard from Mino about Pogba per se? He
wasn't good. He didn't play well today.
Fixer. The points we're talking about, we want to hear from. So let's talk about the points that are on the agenda today.
So the David De Gea thing.
Please.
With the David De Gea thing, my opinion on it is I think David De Gea he's had a long time in United. I think it's time for him to go. However, I'm not sure Dean Henderson is good enough to replace him, to be honest. And that's just my opinion.
Question: How do you know he's not good enough if you've not really seen him play for Man United that much?
I have seen him play for Man United. He's played quite a few games this season, and the games he has played, he's made some mistakes. I know every goalkeeper makes mistakes. Don't get me wrong, but what I'm trying to say is, like, I don't think United have the time to start, blooding goalkeepers and stuff like that. We're trying to go from second to win the title next year or something, win trophies. I don't think we have that time to start. We don't have Ferguson in there. We haven't won if we have won 5 trophies over the years, I would say, okay, yeah, we can use 1 year to get this guy
my question to you would be this though: in terms of his mistakes, how big are they? How much do they contribute to us conceding goals? And then also,
he did one against Sheffield.
Okay,
what's the trade-off? What's the trade-off?
Against Leicester, he made I think 2 of those goals where he should have saved them. At least he should have saved at least 1.
That's not his fault though. Like,
I look at it this way. The only 2 times where I felt was of course that really bad touch and whatnot against Sheffield United. And then I felt he should have kept out against AC Milan. Those 2 moments.
And sorry, 1 second. The thing that everybody rates him on when he comes out and he catches the ball. I've seen it.
But look, you can sign a goalkeeper from abroad. Like Man United signed Fabian Barthez, a World Cup winning goalkeeper. Didn't work out. There is never a guarantee, especially with Man United's history of signing goalkeepers. We haven't been, in my opinion, particularly great at doing it. Schmeichel was excellent. It took us far too long to replace him. And it still took a bit, like the David De Gea thing, it took a couple of years until he was ready. I remember we had at least 1 season where him and
Lindegaard
almost swapped the other week. It takes time to do this, mate. And I think
that's exactly my point. If David De Gea, I'll class him as the same class as, not in the same class as in, ability-wise, but in the same as in, legacy. Van der Sar, Schmeichel. Who else did we have? Those guys are long-standing goalkeepers who've been in our team. We trust them for years and years. I don't think Henderson is that kind of goalkeeper. I know he did well for Sheffield.
He's 24. He's 25.
Never gonna know.
That's old in football. 25 is old in football, mate.
No, the man needs to play games.
He's a goalkeeper, bro.
Play games. He needs to play games.
Yeah, but
I mean, I'm sure everyone would rate Edison and Alisson as the top 2 goalkeepers in the world. Can anyone remember what happened to Alisson a few weeks back against City and against Leicester? And we remember what Edison did against us last season as well.
Absolutely.
And yet, let's not forget what De Gea did contribution-wise to the amount of goals conceded directly from him for us last season as well. These mistakes happen to every keeper.
But before that, David De Gea had like a good, 4 or 5 years of excellence.
Yeah, but before that, look at the De Gea we had before that.
Exactly. So
you're saying there.
Fixer, what you need to understand. What you need to understand is when De Gea came in and we were rotating De Gea and Lindegaard. You know what his weakness was? His weakness was every manager from the opposition said, shoot at him from distance. That's his weakness. And he bottled every ball. And also whatever you were about to say.
The crosses.
By the way, but hold on. What happened? You can train the keeper for his weaknesses to get better in those, as long as he's got the world-class ability to stop like that the initial stuff.
And the thing is with David De Gea,
I think Henderson is a world-class goalkeeper.
No.
He's gonna be. In my opinion, he's gonna be.
Yeah, no, listen, and David De Gea has never really improved in the weakness from crosses. He's still a bit of a cow son. Like I want to when there's a ball, goalies are allowed in football. It's unwritten law. They can smash you with their knees and nothing happens to them. When I see David De Gea going up for crosses, it winds me up. Smash them. If you break their ribs, you get away with it. Why you hide? It annoys me. Get your knees out, get your elbows out, and clear it. Henderson will be better at that. Listen, Fixer, thank you very much, bro, for coming on and having your say. We're gonna go to.
Terry, before we go, you add to the agenda Mason Greenwood development number 9. Because there's people out there saying we should loan him out because he's not getting developed. He needs more minutes. What? Yeah. I seen it. I had a conversation earlier today with our wonderful Diego Jota, aka Aiden, and he was saying how he believes that Mason Greenwood should have been put out on loan.
No,
so
you're joking.
He scored a striker's goal today, like a proper striker's goal today.
Yeah.
Can we add that to the agenda?
We can. I'm going to say this on this before the links out on the Discord server get on. My view on this is simple. Again, I love Aiden, and I think he's doing another show, so I don't know where he's at. Yeah, here to defend himself, but it's Ollie driven. If Ollie would have sent him out on loan at the beginning of the season, there would have been carnage. It's hindsight. He's had a difficult year. He's had a lot going on in his life. There's been another recent article about what his very good friend who obviously passed away this year and the impact that's had on people in that football community within Manchester. And that's got to be taken into consideration. Next caller on the show is Man Like Abs. What are you saying, Abs?
I'm good. Hello, everyone.
Yeah, we're good, man. What are you saying?
Yeah, I thought the game was decent. To be fair, I feel like as Man United fans, we judge things to a really high standard. If you look at Brighton, who play a very good brand of football, I'm a big fan of Graham Potter. We really pinned them back. They weren't progressive. They didn't really play anything, to be fair. I think we were comfortable. I thought Harry Maguire was brilliant. I thought it was a decent game. I like the fact that we saw Pogba in midfield with what's his name? Fred. Just because I like Fred to just do what he's good at, just be a destroyer. When we see him with the ball is when I'm like, I don't want to see that. And I thought like the combination work was a lot more better, a lot more smoother. In the second half was a lot more urgency. So I thought it was a decent game. Obviously, like what McGoldrick said, we have to give Brighton a bit of respect. They played defensively, which is they're not characteristically do, and they made the top of us. So I thought it was a decent game.
Yeah, I get it. Are you calling earbuds, bruv?
Yeah, let me change them around.
Do you know what? I always know when someone's on earbuds. StreamYard does not. They just advertise that StreamYard. We hate earbuds. That should be the rule. The earbuds to them is the worst. It just doesn't seem to want to work. I hear what you're saying.
Yeah, is that better?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's much better, mate. Much better. Yeah, bun the earbuds off, bro. They ain't worth £500 or whatever it is they cost when it comes to StreamYard. You know what I mean? Imagine that. Imagine how much money they cost. They don't work on StreamYard. Apple, man, mental. What's your thoughts on the conversation that's just been put to us by KJ, that there are Man United fans out there that think that Mason Greenwood should be loaned out? What's your opinion?
No, none of that. Don't want to see him loaned out. Not at all. For me,
There we go.
The loan system only works if you're loaning him to a team that's going to play a similar style of football to Ollie. If not, it's pointless. For me, that's the thing. Look at Phil Foden. He's actually progressed quicker being at Man City because he's played the Man City style football with quality players than being loaned out to a Barnet and playing, what do you call it, fucking rugby, except for football. So no, I'm happy with you.
Yeah, I think I agree with that. I think I'd say also on the Greenwood thing that I wouldn't mind him going out on loan had we signed 2 recognized strikers where there isn't enough game time for Mason. Do you know, 2 strikers plus Rashford and Martial? I'd say give Greenwood out on loan. You know what I mean? Like, but we ain't got there, but we're not there.
See, even with that, so there comes a time when you have a young player and their talent exceeds a loan move. Like Greenwood's a talent that his talent's so good, you want to keep him in the United atmosphere to let him understand what it means to play for the badge, what it means to have the pressure of him as a player. If he goes out on loan and plays for these small teams, when he comes back to United, it's more of a shock for him then. You know what I mean? So I think you keep Greenwood no matter what.
It's not even about that. It's not even about that in terms of the conversation that's being had. If we'd have signed 2 strikers that got in his way, they would have also attacked Ollie. Because they have. When we were looking at Haaland a year ago, the vast majority of people didn't want him. And it was, well, what about Martial? And what about Mason Greenwood's progression? Like I've said, it doesn't matter what Ollie does. His detractors are always going to turn it into a negative. Someone with the talent of Mason Greenwood, you keep him at the football club. Very rarely. The only example I can think of a Premier League player with that level of talent that was loaned out, and that's not even true. My brother's a Leighton Orient fan. Nah. Well, Beckham and maybe Beckham.
Jack Wilshere was loaned out to Bolton, was he? And Daniel Sturridge as well.
Yeah, but they didn't make it. But what my point is that who have then gone on to be a superstar. Beckham's the only example I can think of. The other one is Harry Kane. Harry Kane went on loan to a lot of places. But you speak to Leighton Orient fans.
He was bad. He was really bad, yeah.
Technically, he wasn't. He had no physicality. He looked just like a tall, chubby lad. And then as soon as he fixed himself out physically, he snapped into gear. And that's why Spurs moved him out, because he wasn't ready. But with Mason Greenwood, I just think it'd be a mistake to take him away from Man United. You want to protect him, and you need to look after him.
And the other thing as well, people need to realise, there's different types of strikers as well. Mason Greenwood is more in the mould of an Aguero than a Haaland and a Harry Kane. So he's not a Lukaku on steroids who's going to live in the box. He's more of a complete striker, likes to build up play, move around. So he needs to go to a team that is going to play. Like, for example, he could play up front for Man City and score 20 to 30 goals a season. That's how good he is. That's the thing. It depends on the team you're going to load him out to as well.
I totally agree. Abs, great call, mate. Thanks for coming on, having your say. Next up, we've got Baz from Canada. What are you saying, Baz?
Hey, guys. How's it going?
Hey,
so,
good.
I got to just say this. Like, I can't believe after a win we're talking about all this stuff. Like, it's like we can't win. It's like Ollie can't ever win. I'm not an Ollie apologist either. I'm realistic about it. I think that he's done better than any other manager since Fergie, included. When you look at the whole thing, you know, obviously Jose's one season where it looked like we were getting to the next level when we won the Europa League and the League Cup. But, you know, Ollie has a progression. And I don't know if we're ever going to get to the promised land with him, but I don't think anyone's getting the promised land with this club. So the more we do this after a win, the more we're giving the Glazers exactly what they want. I mean, I was watching a documentary the other day about the New York Knicks and how whenever they're losing, they make the most money in New York City because that's what the owners want. They don't want them to win. It's the same situation with Manchester United. So we got to come together as a fan base or it's never going to get better for us. Like, we do this to enjoy ourselves, guys. We don't do this like this has been the worst year of everyone's life. Like, you know what I mean? Like, we got to enjoy ourselves.
been all right, to be fair, bro. I've had a good
No, I
time.
mean,
COVID.
No, I mean, you know what I mean. You've had an amazing year. By the way, congratulations, Terry. By the way, Terry, I have to say this. Like, I remember watching your show like 3 or 4 years ago. And I'm like, who is this guy? Like, you're in your car doing a stream, and I'm like, I was hooked from day one, and I'm so happy for you of what you built here. And I've been loving watching it, man. I really mean that.
I appreciate that, mate. Thank you very, very much. Baz, you're a legend of the show. Thank you very much for calling in and all your contributions, mate.
Cheers,
I really appreciate that. I'm getting a few comments here. It's really interesting. Why is Terry so Ollie protective? I'm really not. I think he's ceiling. I would like a new manager this summer, but at the same time, I'm not polarized. Like, not everything Ollie has done as Man United manager has been wrong, but that's what I don't know if I find it funny or I worry about society where it's okay. You don't like Ollie, so that means you have to be negative about every single. Isn't it exhausting just being negative all the time?
Yeah, the first half of the show was a bit mad. Still, now I'm refreshed and happy. I want to go and I want to go get ready for that.
Baz has just done you in there, KJ, mate. Baz has just set it all down nice for you. Settled the mood, lovely.
Baz looked like he was chilling. It looked like he was in that game. Yeah. Potato chips one side, soda the other. He's just going to sit there now for like 8 hours straight on Easter just playing games. Like,
I'm gonna get ready for Midnight Vibes, guys. Enjoy the rest of the show.
See you soon, mate. Thank you very much. We'll do a few more calls. Steph's with us now. What are you saying, Steph?
Hey, how's it? How are you guys doing?
Yeah, all good, man. What's in your mind?
All right. Well, I look, first and foremost, I want to say the first half of this game was atrocious. And a lot of that came from just an inability to cross the ball. So the real question I've gotten, something I wanted to pose to you guys. We got a lot of changes that need to happen this summer. We're dealing with Martial's probably going to stay now since he's injured. You know my stance on that. We've talked about it in the past. That I've always wanted him to go. We got to deal with De Gea. We got to deal with Pogba. But ultimately, I think we need to deal with how we cross the ball from the right side. And does that mean we switch to 5 at the back with Wan-Bissaka moving a little bit more central? And do we bring somebody in on the right side that can actually cross? Because that was terrible in the first half. Great, Muxaz was better this year. But go ahead. Take that first.
Yeah, sure. So, the answer to that is I don't think Ollie has changed his intention and style of play from the beginning of the season when Ollie said, I need a right back and preferably Sancho. And I need a recognized right back. Right winger. When he said, I want a right winger, we didn't get the right winger that we needed. I don't think he thought to himself, no, because I haven't got one, I'm gonna now detract from trying to still play on that right-hand side. And that's why you've seen us be so poor going forward with the people that he's put there. Everyone has failed, bar, I think maybe like right now it looks like Ahmad is kind of all right, but Daniel James?
Yeah,
Daniel James look like he's
it's one-sided. It's one-dimensional. The reality is
that's fine.
They're not
it can't be just be on the ground.
No,
it has to be also.
Yeah, but sure. But what you need to understand is, I think we can judge Ollie's system of play once you actually have that recognized winger.
That's
right?
Alfie, that's the conundrum, isn't it? When it comes to the Ollie in, Ollie out debate, there's the Ollie Inners will say, he hasn't had all the players that he wants yet, which I think is a fair argument. And no one gets the number one targets, but we haven't fixed and put players in some of the holes we've had for years. And then the Ollie outers think, well, it doesn't matter if he gets them or not, he's still not going. There's almost this rock on a hard place at the moment when it comes to the debate, which is, I just want an answer either way. I either want us to go down a new road with a new manager and see whether it works, or give Ollie everything he desires. At least in either of those ways of doing things, we get an answer.
I don't think it matters on the manager, though. I think, it's not just on the manager. The reality is whatever manager you have, you're still one-dimensional on that side.
No,
even if you're just playing on the ground,
I agree.
What a different manager would do. Let's say you had a Pep or a Klopp, possibly. Obviously, they're the best managers. Mm-hmm. They will change the system to get the best out of the players that you got, whereas Solskjaer says, well, this is how I want to play. Get me the players to play that. So, Pep hasn't had a striker all season, so he doesn't play without us. He plays a false 9. He doesn't put, De Bruyne as a striker. He plays a false 9 to get the best out of the player in a position to make the system work. But obviously, there's two different levels of managers.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, and that's it, mate.
Sorry, go on,
You're
Adam.
saying there, though, it's like with the wingers again, though. What is a real winger now? They're not real wingers anymore, are they? It's totally, our forward line is different. It's like when someone said you go to three at the back and you play with wing backs. They're more conventional wingers about crossing the ball. They're the ones that would cross the balls into the box. You look at our wingers, normally you've got a Rashford or you've got a Greenwood.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Rashford was initially a winger, but he's got the goal scoring. He's got the goal scoring in his mind now. He's one tracked in terms of cutting inside all the time. When do you ever see Rashford put a cross in? He doesn't, does he? He cuts in every time. Mm-hmm. You know what? Greenwood on the other side is another natural striker playing on the right. Are these players told at the start of the game, this is how we're playing, we're cutting in? Are we told to play as conventional? The only one I can think of who's a normal winger is Dan James, and I don't rate him as the highest quality. That's the only natural old school winger we've got. So it comes down to, like you said, and the style of play, what formation you're playing, which way suits the players you've best got.
Yeah, and I agree. And I think the thing with Nick's point is absolutely right. The problem is we've just spent the last 2.5 years giving players to a manager whose system needs someone on the right and needs a new CDM and some cover in other places, needs a proper striker. So you then go to a coach who goes, you know what, I can like maybe create something different with this. The problem is, and the fear I have is that we do what we've done the previous 4 times. It's right, we've got to wipe the slate clean, and it's more new players, and it's coaching the players a new way of playing. There'll be a new diet added. This manager will replant the trees that LVG put in a few years ago, and it's all this nonsense over and over again. What we need is a manager that looks at the Man United squad and still sees the same flaws and just wants to play a better style or do what Ollie's doing, but actually achieve greater outcomes with it, so that there isn't this big overhaul in the way we do things. I look at it this way: if Pep wins a quad this year and retires in the summer, I'm not saying he will. If he does, the new manager that comes in isn't going to say, "Yeah, I like Pep did great. It's 23-man squad. I need to get rid of 15 of these players in the next 2 years." I think it will be a steady growth and change. And until we get that right at Man United, the managerial element is for me a key stage 1 debate in Man United getting back to brilliance again. There's no doubt. Listen, Steph, thank you very much for coming on, having your say, mate. Really appreciate it. One final caller today. We're going to go to Ray. Ray, what you saying?
Hey, Terry. The first thing, I just want to congratulate you on all your success and wish you more success. And on Mason Greenwood, we have to realize that Mason Greenwood is 19. I mean, he had his best season last season. He was a kid. He's still a kid, and a lot of defenders didn't know him in the defense, and now he's coming into a tough season, tough year. But I think next season, when you put players on loan, you have to know what players go on loan. Strikers don't need to go on loan, honestly, because even if we got better strikers in the transfer market, I would still want Greenwood there because he has to learn from the best to become the best. Right? What good is sending him to a Watford or a Forest or whatever team in the championship or another league?
Solskjaer said today, I think in his post-match, that he can see Greenwood learning off Cavani. Is that Greenwood's first header? I don't think he scored a header before today.
Looked like a real poacher's header, didn't it?
So he hasn't scored those goals, and that's something that Solskjaer's been critical of him and Martial for a number of years. So I agree. You bring in a better player like Cavani, more experienced player. You want your best young players to benefit from them, as opposed to going somewhere where they become the number one and who they have got to learn off.
But also, Greenwood's already being targeted by the wonderful and delightful British press. Man United have got to protect him. I would be fearful of him out under somebody else's kind of leadership. I'd be worried about how Man United do. Well, they don't always have a great. We need to keep him in house and protect him. No doubt.
But Terry, on top of all of that,
coming on, bro. Thank you.
On top of all of that, Greenwood can contribute for us. Forget everything else. He is good enough to contribute for us, and we need him to contribute for us. Bro, it's not like we got this plethora of other options to loan out Greenwood.
He was a couple of goals away last season from being the highest goal-scoring teenager in the history of British football. And a year later, because it's 6 goals, it ain't that bad. Like by the end of the season, I reckon he might end the season, you know, on 11. I think he might have a little flow towards the end. That's really not a bad second year.
Second season syndrome, mate.
He's
it's always difficult, isn't it? It's always difficult for players second season. The teams go away, they're learning, and and it's always difficult second season. Let's not forget he hardly played the start of last season, and he still got his 17 goals. It was mainly in the second half of the season. Yeah, and let's not forget how many times he's hit the post and the woodwork this season. He's had a really unlucky season for the club. And I think out of the front three this season, everyone who's played, I thought he's looked after the ball better than any of them. I just don't think he gets the credit for his work outside the box as well. His link-up play is on point. I think he's just like you said, just them final things. But when you've got a chopping and changing midfield all the time behind him, it's not helping him either. He's not in a settled team right now, but he's still looking okay and holding his own. For me, bodes well for the maturity of a 19-year-old that's had the year off the field that he's had. The Foden issue with international duty. Then you've got his best mate obviously dying, which he's struggled with. And you know what? He's come on in and out of social media. I just think for him to be where he is now and still going, it's credit to the mentality of the lad and it's credit to him. And you could say the club for trying to protect him and doing what they could. But for me, it all bodes well for us. These are the players, the Greenwoods, the Hendersons. These are the players now, because we're not going to get money splashed out for us. We know where the Glazers are. This is what we should be as fan base, building up and saying, look, this is our future. This is one good thing we have got at this football club right now. For me, is the big positive going forward right now. The Greenwoods, the Hendersons. Yeah. You know what I mean? You've got the likes of Laird and Mengi out on loan. These players that come back and could make a difference. Our youth system, which is winning on all fronts at the moment, is decent and positive. I know it's difficult to make that step. What 0.1 of whatever percent of youth team players make it to the first team, but we've got one, and that's Mason Greenwood. He has proved that he is good enough, and with years to come, I think he will only get better.
He's 4 goals from being Man United's highest Premier League goal-scoring teenager. Rooney on 15, Rashford on 13, Greenwood on 12, and he's not 20 until October. So he's got.
And that's the point. It's about what we fail to do as football fans all the time is contextualize, and that's a stat. Does it mean he was technically as good overall as Wayne Rooney if he beats the goal-scoring element? No. You know, I remember putting stats up about a year ago, and it showed at 21 the goal contributions Rashford had, and he was in front of Ronaldo, Rooney, and Thierry Henry at that age. Doesn't mean he's better than them. It doesn't mean he's better than them, but it means he's a very talented football player who you're all writing off at 21 years of age because he does a few things on the pitch that you don't like. If what Rashford was doing wasn't impressive, multiple players of that age would be doing it, and he doesn't. And it's like now, like people keep telling me we need someone better. Rashford gets a bit hard time. He's got 19 goals this season, and he's an inside forward. It's excellent. It's 2 years running that he's got a high level of goals. And do you know what's more impressive about this year for Rashford? And I hope Greenwood's going to follow suit. And I think Greenwood is going to outstrip him, in my personal opinion. And that's only good for Man United. Like, everyone knows Rashford's my favourite player at the club. But I want every new striker that comes through to be better than Rashford because it means Man United will win more. But it's like, he's done it this year, Rashford, without taking penalties. Last year, it was, he only got over 20 goals in all comps because he took penalties. This year, it's like, but what's he doing off the ball? Oh, yeah, he's the second highest goal contributor in the league outside of goals and assists in terms of build-up play. Yeah, but how many dribbles is he doing? Like, whatever happens, and they're going to do it to Greenwood. Let me just tell you this now. The quite literally, every single week, you were going to see the goalpost move for Greenwood no matter what he does. It's going to happen.
Terry, Marcus Rashford is still, if I'm correct, the top goal scorer in the Champions League. We got knocked out in the group stages.
I think Haaland's gone in front of him by a couple of goals.
Okay, are you sure?
Yeah. No, because they were level. I think they were both on 6 each, and obviously he scored in the last round. So definitely Haaland as it stands right now. But yeah, Rashford had a good year. He's had a very good year in Europe. But I do understand he may be out now of the game. Picked up another knock in this game after a heavy challenge. But listen, everyone who's contributed today, thank you. All the viewers, make sure you're smashing that like and that share button. Well done to United, 11 points safe inside the top 4. Adam, Alfie, Neeks, who else was on today? KJ came on. Cam was here. Johnny, I do love Johnny. Johnny is like pure unadulterated passion. It just lets it all spew. We absolutely love him here. Until next time, everybody, take care of yourselves. Goodbye. God bless. Back tomorrow with more content.